Hello, beautiful community. I'm out of the hospital and I'm going to give you a chat about that to get you around the back of how things work in my personal health challenge journey. So I'll tell you about my day in hospital. If you want analysis of our wonky and wobbly world, just reconnect with me on the next chat. We'll be tuning back. Now, let's start with some comedy. The post-truth populist buffoon Boris Johnson's government promised to build 40 new hospitals in the UK, and they built about 3. And a few years in, they made NHS England change the definition of a new hospital from an actual new hospital to changes made to old hospitals, like a little extension built or some refurbishments here and there. So they had to create a post-truth definition of a new hospital as a post-truth government. Now, one of the hospitals on the wrong end of that kind of policy disaster is the hospital that I was at, which is not where I typically end up, because this was actually in the countryside, in Norfolk in England. The hospital's King's Lynn, Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and the ambulance crew were amazing. But the unfortunate thing about the hospital is it's built out of that airy concrete stuff in the 70s that has like a life of 30 or 40 years. And so it had to receive something like 2,500 bits of support to keep it upright, and the ceilings are in trouble. And there's a new hospital finally commissioned, but I'll put some pictures on the screen. Yeah, this is contemporary state incapacity to get things done. I mean, what is going wrong with my health? You know that I have ME for 20 plus years, which historically has reduced my capacity in recent years, at least, to working 2 or 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day from home. And that gives me 20, 30 different complex symptoms. They're really weird, difficult, suffering-inducing, kind of violent, scary. A lot of people have the same condition, 1 in 200 people probably globally. So it's quite common, and it's a bit of a, in the Western world at least, a bit of a scandal that we haven't really got any commitment to serious research and serious treatment there. People are doing heroic research on small budgets here and there. And of course, that's actually exactly the sort of stuff that the Trump administration is going to be attacking. He's attacking research into complex, important conditions that are stopping people from contributing to society. Although you might say, no, Vlad, you are contributing. But of course, because you love me, you also want me to contribute more. And you also want me to contribute my philosophical work, not just my public intellectual work. So that's the ME story. But on top of that, I have heart damage and microvascular damage since getting COVID for the first time, in fact, last summer. And that basically means that like the walls of your small vessels are like burnt through and or like stuck together. So yesterday I was escalating in a way that didn't feel very sustainable. I thought, I'm not really feeling like I'm going to be conscious a minute or two from now. And I'm so used to extreme chest pains, of course, with this stuff. But this was in a slightly different place and working in a different way. A bit different to the usual sort of pericardial damage pain. This was, I think, a different way that small blood vessel damage expressed itself. So my heart rate was just going up and up and up. I was having this sort of crushing chest pain on the front, and I was feeling sort of very rapidly escalatingly ill, to the point that I even actually probably for the first time in my life during a health crisis, I made kind of a noise. I went, ah! So shockingly quick how the ambulance came, deep in the countryside. 25 minutes. And were really good actually straight away at cluing into the sort of particularly heart damage journey that I'm on. But this is difficult stuff for doctors to grasp unless they're educated in it and trained in it. So you have to be ill while being educated. And then of course I was in hospital, and even though I was actually on a bed the whole time, I kept getting worse. My health kept getting worse, which made me empathize with sort of fellow ME patients who always get worse when they're in hospital, even though they need to be in hospital for particular issues. And that's really hard, and that's why we need to set up hospitals to be able to receive these patients. In the UK alone, there's several 100,000. And there's basically no hospital facility to accommodate these people. And so what it ends up being is a kind of an advocacy campaign. Here are my needs. Here's the stuff that's wrong with my body you need to understand. Here are the test results you need to pay attention to. Here's what you need to look at. So it's a sort of like you're conceptually educating the medical system while having a health crisis. So deepest empathy to everybody in the chronic illness community dealing with this, dealing with other things. I'm also going to do a little diary of like a day in my life with how much health impinges on me, and how, in a way, beautiful and miraculous it is when I do the chats with you, beautiful community. I mean, I could rave on for like 10 hours, so I don't see why we need to go on. I've given you a little flavor of this. My job is now to stabilize my heart, and obviously not let my ME spiral out of control. And I spoke to a absolutely amazing cardiologist in Germany specializing in my sort of microvascular post-COVID heart stuff. Immediately as I got out of hospital, I was lucky I had that appointment set up anyway. So emotionally, where do we land this? I just think that life is precious. Life is fragile. Human constitutions are fragile. Political constitutions are fragile. Human constitutions are fragile. Political constitutions are fragile. Human constitutions are fragile. There are nice analogies there. And personally, whatever shit you're going through, physical health, mental health, just struggling with the world. I'm holding you, as you know, however my health goes. My capacity to be external, my capacity to give does not diminish. So I'm here for you to lean on me, even when I am constitutionally fragile. And especially those of you who are struggling are in my thoughts. And we'll be back soon to talk about the, calamitous flailing going on in our political environment. Lots of love.